Hi. I'd like to share some thoughts with you. This is going to be a shorter Bible study than I usually do. I recently ran across an article. It was written by a lady named Barbara Cowan, and she lives in Illinois. I found this article on a website called thetelegraph.com. The article talks about our culture and how it's an instant culture. Everything's fast-paced in our culture. We want to do things right away, no time for waiting. And I'll just read a couple sentences here that she had written. In our instant culture, we are simply out of time. We have become slaves to that which can be accomplished in the least amount of time. We have instant pudding, instant potatoes, instant credit, fast-track college degrees, drive-through banking in restaurants, same-day surgeries, quickie divorces, instant loans, and the list goes on. We are people driven to use every minute of every day on the clock, but only if we can use them quickly. I recall hearing of the man who supposedly prayed, "God, give me patience and give it to me now." Instant messaging, faster computers, faster printers, faster phones, faster downloading, on and on. I want it now. I wonder if that describes you. I know it describes me at times. I'd like to share with you a verse in the Old Testament in the book of Exodus. It's chapter 23, and there's verses 27 through 30. God says, "I will send my fear before you. I will cause confusion among all the people to whom you come, and will make all your enemies turn their backs to you, and I will send hornets before you, which shall drive out the Hivite, the Canaanite, and the Hittite from before you." This was God talking to the children of Israel, the Israelites, his chosen nation, and he was giving them a promised land. And after they got through wandering, of course, those 40 years in the wilderness, they finally got to that promised land in Canaan. And he said, what's going to happen? There's going to be people already there. But I'll take care of the inhabitants. I'll drive them out. In fact, I'll just send some hornets. You won't even have to, the hornets will drive them out, and I'll take care of it for you. But then he said something very interesting that addresses this whole idea of fast. We want it right now. God said, "I will not drive them out from before you in 1 year, lest the land become desolate and the beasts of the field become too numerous for you." He had a reason. It would be bad for them, even if they were in a hurry, even if they couldn't wait to get there, where it was a land that flowed with milk and honey, and it took 2 men just to carry a cluster of grapes on a pole on each of their shoulders, and the grapes hanging down in the middle. A land that was just wonderful, beautiful. No matter how anxious they were to get there, God said, "I won't do it fast." He said in this verse, "Little by little, I will drive them out from before you until you have increased and you inherit the land." Little by little. Something most of us don't like to hear. I don't know if you're going through some situations now where you're a bit impatient. If you're anything like me or the people described in this little bit of article I read by Barbara Cowan, you probably are somewhat impatient. It's our culture. Everything's fast. Everything's now. Everything's instant. Fast cash, fast whatever. But I want to remind you that if you've been praying and you've grown impatient, don't be tempted to take things into your own hands. Don't be tempted to run ahead of the Lord. I'm trying to remind you very gently that God says little by little. And oftentimes that's God's schedule, is little by little. It covers everything from our Christian walk. We want to hurry up and reach a certain level of maturity or a certain level of understanding and knowledge. We have to be patient. It could deal with areas in your life of, say, relationships. Maybe you're impatient to mend some relationships that have been broken, and you just keep pushing and pushing and pushing. It's wise for us to learn to wait on the Lord. Little by little, God said, I'll take care of your problem. I'm not deaf. I have heard your prayers. I've heard your groanings. I've heard you when you prayed at night to me, and I've seen your tears. I know your anxiousness. I know your heart is, you want to get on with this. but just trust me. God may not tell you the reason, but there is a reason, and God does love you, and He is working on your behalf. He is busy answering your prayer, but He's more than likely doing it in His time, which isn't always ours, and it could be that He's doing it little by little. So let's try to be the kind of people who can learn to wait on the Lord and on His timing. Thank you.